What's going on, guys? My name is Mitch Robs, and today we're going to be going over Plankerton Storm Shield Defense 1. So, the reason we're going over Plankerton Storm Shield Defense 1 is because it's going to give you a good base foundation of what to expect in Plankerton, as well as we're going to set up a lot of builds that are going to carry you into your later Plankerton Storm Shield defenses. And I'm going to teach you a couple concepts of a little higher level trapping than we did in Stonewood and start expanding your horizons with it. So if you guys like this kind of content, leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to my channel, as well as come join my Discord where we have a lot of high level players and people willing to help you. They're not going to build for you, but they can give you advice, tips on the game, stuff like that, as well as come check me out on Twitch at Mitch_Rob. Alright, let's get on to the building tutorial. Welcome to Plankerton. It has a beautiful autumn theme, and this is probably the most fun storm shield you'll have. In general, because the terrain's crazy. Look at all around it. There's a bunch of hills, crazy terrain, stuff like that, and little mountains. And I think this is probably the most fun storm shield that you can have. All right, but for SSD1, that's what we're going to be looking at today. If you look at our storm shield, it can get hit on every single side, right? So it can get hit from the south, the east, the north, and the west. The main direction that you'll find in like endurance and stuff later on when you play is north, but we have to cover all sides because all sides get hit. And what happens if all sides get hit and you only cover one side? Oh well, you gotta fight that out. So we're gonna cover it. So we're gonna look at to the north. Where are they gonna spawn on the north? They're gonna spawn all the way back there on that little ridge where my cursor is, right back here, okay? On the west side, they're going to spawn up there in those trees. They're going to spawn right across there. For the south side, we're going to jump all the way up this mountain and they're going to spawn up here. As you can see, this isn't a very fun spot to cover, but they're going to spawn right up here. Alright. And then we're going to look at our east side. East side, they're going to spawn all the way up on this mountain. And they're going to spawn right back there. So they're also going to spawn back over here too. So we have a lot of area to cover, and this will probably be a little bit long of a video, but it'll serve as the basis for our next videos going forward. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on our north side first. So they spawn all the way back there, right? And they want to go towards our amplifier. So they're going to path as straight as possible to the amplifier. That's what we want to be thinking about. So today's theme that I want to go over is something called a timeout room. It's basically a way for the husks to get pushed by a wall launcher. So say we have a wall launcher right here. This wall launcher is going to push them this way. Now if we put some burst killing traps in here, the husks are just going to die in this little timeout room. So that's what we're going to focus on today. And wait, I want to introduce you guys because it's a really good strategy for killing husks. So the first thing first, we're gonna do some block off to orient ourselves. As you can see, this is a pretty open space, and I would screw it up massively if I didn't have a reference point to start off of. So we're gonna come on over here. This is gonna serve as like an assassin block off. So assassin husks are husks that follow you instead of the objective. So you'll find that the little baby husks, the husklings, you'll find that the pitchers, you'll find that the, what's the word for it? The gunslingers, they all go after you instead of the objective. So sometimes they like to lurk around this side on this build. So we're going to first start, we're going to have a wall here. We're going to place a wall dart on this. So these are the 6 traps or 7 traps we're using. We have a Zapomax. Lion had a purple epic Zapomax. So if you have that, go for it. If not, it's the same exact thing as a dynamo. Forewarning, they're just interchangeable, but we're going to be using Zapomax today. We have ceiling electric fields, ceiling gas traps, floor freeze traps, wall launchers, wall darts, and wooden floor spikes. So first things first, we're going to put a wall dart here. And remember, we're going to tier 2 all of this. Tier 3 it if you have the metal, but tier 2 is what I'm expecting today. We're going to place a wall here, and a wall here, and a wall outside the storm shield. This wall outside the storm shield, you're going to have to hold your builds out to be able to upgrade. We're then going to place a cone here. This cone's going to be facing the southeast, and then we're going to have a cone here facing the northeast. And we're going to surround these in walls. Remember, we're going to tier 2 all of this. Tier 3 it if you have the metal, but tier 2 is what I'm expecting of you guys. Eventually we'll move on to tier 3ing everything, but it's not that necessary at the moment. We're then going to place a wall here, a cone, facing the northeast, and then we're going to surround it in walls. Okay? We're then going to place a cone right here behind our initial 2 cones. We're going to place a cone here and facing towards the northeast. We're going to go upgrade this block off real quick so we don't forget. We're going to upgrade this as well. Behind the sandwich we just created, we're going to add another cone, not up to up here because I'm dumb. A cone right here and facing towards the northeast. This is just going to add layering so that the husk that spawn farthest over here don't want to come over here and break through. They want to go towards the objective. We're then going to come right over here. We're going to place a wall, surround this tile and walls, and then we're going to have a cone facing the northeast. Similar to what we had right here. And we're going to upgrade that. Boom, boom. We're then going to go over one more tile, and we're going to surround it in walls, but this time the cone is going to be facing towards the northwest. This way, this cone facing the northwest is going to prevent the husks from wanting to go towards the east and towards the south. I accidentally built that wall, so let's get rid of it. Alright, and this is where we're going to start our tunnel, right? Or not necessarily start our tunnel, but this is going to be part of our tunnel. So, our tunnel is going to start right here, this floor right here, and it's basically going to give them a path back this way. I mentioned that the theme of today's video is going to be timeout rooms. So what exactly is a timeout room? We already went over that. But basically, we're going to be using wall launchers on these 2 walls to push husks into a box to kill them. So we're going to be using some cool mechanics with that. So first things first, we're going to walk right here. We're going to have a wall launcher on this wall. Alright, so with that wall launcher in this wall, so let's place it. We're going to be pushing the husks this way. Alright. We're going to have a wall here, and we're going to edit this with a window, and you'll see why in a second. We're going to have a wall in the front on the north side, a floor, and a ceiling over top, alright? So the husks are going to walk right here, they're going to get booped by this wall launcher, and they're going to be inside here. We're going to place a ceiling electric field. So let's go find our ceiling electric field. We're going to place it inside the timeout box, and we're going to place a gas trap next to the wall launcher. Why? Because this gas trap's going to provide consistent damage even with the wall launcher not going off and a husk passing by it. They're still going to get hit by that ceiling gas trap, and they might get hit by the ceiling electric field if they're far enough to the left of this tile. If they're getting booped in here, the ceiling electric field provides burst damage, and you'll have traps in here going off. So we're then going to place a floor freeze trap inside the timeout box, a wall dart shooting across so that it hits the husks that are on this tile. We're going to have a wall dart here, because wall darts can actually shoot through windows. And we're going to have a Zapamax on this wall. Alright. We're going to have a wooden floor spike here to slow them down. And then we're going to have another wooden floor spike. Now, we're going to do another timeout room. So we're going to have a wall launcher, pushing them into a box. We're going to have our edited window already on this side, so we're going to place a Zapamax, a ceiling electric field. We're going to have a floor freeze trap, a wall dart, and a wall dart. Alright? And that's going to be our second timeout room. So this should clear out most husks in general, right? Because these wall launchers will be pushing them into an insane amount of damage. If the wall launchers there don't catch them, we're going to recycle them back through our tunnel with a wall launcher here. Alright? So this wall launcher will be sending the husks back through the tunnel. Also, we need to put our gas trap here. Whoops. Okay. And then, since we do have this wall launcher here, I don't like it that if they skirt this, the gas trap's not going to do much, and if they get hit by this wall launcher, it's not going to do much, because, frankly, the gas traps want you to stay under it as long as possible, so we're going to put a ceiling electric field here to get that burst damage off. We're then going to put a wooden floor spike. We're going to put a wall dart, a floor, wall, and ceiling on top. We're going to have a floor freeze trap. We're going to have a wall dart. And we're going to have a ceiling electric field with another wall launcher. Alright. Now, this is a bit overkill for SSD1, but the goal of this is solely for you guys to have a build that's going to last you for a couple of SSDs, and this is the main side that this gets hit. So this is going to be overkill for SSD1. Frankly, I don't expect the husks to get really past this second timeout room, but later on when we actually have smashers on this side, this is going to be super important. So we're then going to add a little edited low wall like this. You take the top 6 out in the far right. We're going to place it here and here, okay? And we're going to make sure our entire build's tier 2. So remember that, tier 2, tier 2, tier 2. Tier 2. Okay, guys? So now that we have that, we're going to finish our block off over here. We're going to come over here to this side of our trap tunnel where we go in. And we're going to place a wall, a cone facing the northeast, a wall, and a wall. So they don't break out this way. Alright, and tier 2 that. We're then going to go over right here. So we have that one. And we're going to place a cone behind it, facing the southeast. Alright. Let that upgrade. We're going to come right here. We're going to place a wall, a cone facing the northwest, and surround that in walls. We're also going to place a wall behind this cone as well. Alright, and we're going to upgrade all that to tier 2. So if you haven't knocked down your trees already, it's a good marker for where this block off is. It's right in the middle of it. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to come right here, where we have our previous block off, and we're going to place a cone right here, facing the northwest, a wall, and surround that in walls, okay? We're then going to place a wall, a cone facing the northwest, and we're going to surround that in walls. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Alright, so we're going to tier 2 all this. I only tier 2 it as we go, so that you guys do it as well, so you don't forget. Because it makes a huge difference between winning and losing missions. Okay? We're then going to place a floor right here. So if you notice this water, right? We're walking in this water. Look how slow we're walking. So once we get out of this water, look how much faster we're walking, right? The same thing applies to husks. So imagine our wooden floor spike, right? How it makes them really slow. The water is like an ultra wooden floor spike that you don't need to renew with more wooden floor spikes. So here's what we're going to do with it. We're going to actually utilize it to our advantage. And this is something I'd like you guys to start thinking about, how you can use your terrain to your advantage. So we're going to build our west side, right? And we're going to make 2 tunnels. One's going to utilize the water to slow down the husks, and one's not. And one's going to use pathing with floors. So we're going to start right here, and we're going to place a floor. Why? Because if a husk walks up to this floor, they can't walk over it. They have to beat through it. So it serves as a little bit of block off. We're going to place another floor, and we're going to surround all these floors and walls. Okay? We're then going to have a cone facing the northwest, right here. Okay? And then we're going to have a cone facing the north, or west right here. Boom, and then walls in between. Okay? So now that we have that, we're going to make a tunnel. And this tunnel is going to be kind of cool because it is, I'm not going to say unique, but it does use this water mechanic, and the husks are going to be going really slow through it. So finish tier 2ing that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a ceiling tile above. We're going to have a wall tile here. This is going to have an edited window like this. All right? We're then going to have a ceiling tile next to it, to the south, and a ceiling tile here. Alright? This is going to be one of those tunnels that I really enjoy making. So we have this. They're going to cut to the right. We're going to have a wall here and a wall here. So what's going to happen? We're going to have the husk come through here. They're going to have a Zapamax hitting them right here. So let's get our Zapamax out and not an actual wall dart or wall dynamo. So our Zapamax here. We're going to have a ceiling gas trap for the consistent damage that it provides. We're going to have a wall dart to the left. All right. So you might be like, why is there the hole there? And we'll get to that right now. So one of the perks about dynamos is you can place them on these windowed walls, and you can get a little bit more damage out of your tunnel by frankly putting a wall dart behind that. So we're going to place a wall dart here and a wall dart here. And you guessed it, we're going to place a windowed wall right here. Okay? So that should provide a little bit more extra damage and a little bit more burst damage. So we're going to go back into this little box that we made, and we're going to place a cone facing the southwest. Wall darts can also shoot through these cones, and it's a really useful thing to learn because you can add a little bit of layering here so they don't break through this wall with this cone. So we're then going to add a wall dart here, Wall darts are going to be your favorite trap. Honestly, wall darts are super good in this game for just absolutely demolishing the health of a husk. So we're going to place a ceiling electric field here. So we're going to also... Oh my god, why is there a wall launcher here? Yikes. I don't remember placing that. I don't know. We want the wall dart here. And then we want the wall launcher here. So the reason I have this ceiling electric field is so the husks that do get hit by this wall launcher and get sent back here will have taken that damage from that ceiling electric field. Or they're going to place a wall here with a wall dynamo and a wall dynamo. You can also put a gas trap here because they are under that slowing effect of the water. And then if you really want to, you can add another little just Zap-A-Max on each side and ceiling electric field combo. Just to nuke them down a little bit in case they do get this far. Next thing's next, we're going to surround our amplifier. So you're never going to get away from this. You always want to surround your amplifier so lobbers don't go crazy. So we're going to surround all of it, right? All of it with walls. Now, husks can be super annoying, like lobbers can. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to come to the south side where Lion is, and we're going to place a floor and then a wall, okay? And then a floor on top of the amplifier. What this is going to do is lobbers are going to want to target this middle floor. So they're not going to target the front of the wall. So when we build our south side, lobbers won't throw now that we have this covering. All right. So now that we have that, let's work on our block off on this side. So we're going to place a wall here, a floor, a wall. We're going to have these surrounded in walls, a cone. Okay, so make sure these are upgraded, these floors. That's kind of important. We're going to have a cone facing the west, a cone facing the west, and we're going to hit all of these and upgrade them to tier 2. All right. We're then going to go behind this to the east. We're going to have a cone facing the northwest, surrounded in walls. A cone facing the southwest, surrounded in walls. And then we're going to focus on a tunnel over here. Alright, so let's upgrade. Great. So now that we have that, we're going to place a wall here. And we're going to start on a tunnel. So we're going to do like our similar tunnel that we always do. But it's really good tunnel. And I think we should add this row here. So just a little extra block off right here with the cone facing the southwest. All right. And that'll lead into our tunnel being a little bit more robust. So if you guys want to, you can use that wall dart mechanic that we were talking about and place a dynamo here or a Zap-A-Max with a wall dart behind it. Or you can just place the dynamo. It's you guys' call. But we're going to be using the pathing that we talked about in the previous videos. So we're going to place these 3 walls and then 2 floors above them. And then we're going to place 2 floors down here. We're going to edit one on the northeast side and one on the southwest side. We're then going to add this one on the northwest side and the southeast side. All right, so the husks physically have to walk along this floor in this way instead of just being able to skirt the corner. So we're going to upgrade all of that to tier 2. And I have more metal in my storage. I suggest you guys put metal in your storage for that specific reason. Or they're going to put ceiling gas trap here, a ceiling gas trap here, a wall launcher on this wall, a wall launcher on this wall, and then we're going to have a dynamo here. Okay? We're then going to have a floor, an edited wall, so take the 6 tiles on the top out. Okay, and then the far left tile out, and we're going to place that. Then we're going to have a ceiling above. So let me re-edit my wall. And then we're going to place a, what is this called? A floor freeze trap, a ceiling electric field, a wall launcher, and a wall dart here. And this is just so the husks, that if there's anything that gets past this wall launcher, they're going to get frozen here, get hit by the ceiling electric field, get hit by the wall darts, and wall launched back. If they don't, they're going to walk this way, and the ceiling or the wall darts might be able to hit them. And they're a really powerful trap to actually finishing off husks. Alright, and next we're going to worry about our south spawn. So south spawn's a little bit icky, if I should say so myself. This reminds me of a lot of Twined Peaks, which is just the last zone of the game. You guys don't necessarily have to worry about it too much right now. But there's a spawn called Lava Amplifier in Twined Peaks that's really reminiscent of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to climb all the way up here, up this mountain. Now, if you need help getting up this mountain, there's no good way to do it. I'd suggest building like a ramp right here and just cranking your 90s up to get up there. But remember to leave that later. So we're going to come all the way up here. We're then going to come right here, and we're going to place a wall. Alright. We're going to place a wall right here. And yes, it's a little bit claustrophobic, and I am stuck. So I'm going to edit out real quick. Alright, so we have those walls. We're going to place this floor as a temporary, and we're going to place a wall right here. And I'm going to break those floors real quick. Alright, so now that we have this wall right here, we're going to place a cone facing the southwest. A wall and a wall. Okay? And this storm shield bubble is really a big impediment into your building. So we're going to try to work around it, which you guys can see it's already annoying for me. Now here's what we're going to do. Alright? We're also going to come right here. We're going to place a floor, a ceiling tile, a wall, and we're going to actually make our own terrain. So one of those things is if you have bad terrain, you can actually make your own terrain. So instead of following the natural pathway, so if we're the husk, we're right here, we want to drop down right here, and then drop down right here and go towards the amplifier. So we're actually going to make our own terrain. And you might be like, how are we going to do that? Well, we're just going to build them an easier pathway to get down. That's the general consensus of it. So we're also going to place a wall here and a wall here. This is just so they don't accidentally spawn and fall off this. Because it does happen. They shouldn't drop 4 tiles. Husks don't have it in their program to drop 4 tiles, but sometimes it just happens. So we're going to protect that. Alright? We're then going to place a wooden floor spike. We're going to have a ceiling gas trap. We're going to have 2 Zapamaxes. One here and one here. And then we're going to extend out a tile on the ceiling. Now you might be like, that's over nothing. And that's correct. So we're going to have a ceiling electric field. A wall. Alright. And then we're going to waterfall down one. So we're going to come down here. We're going to place this wall and this floor. We're going to place a ceiling, or not a ceiling, a wall and a wall. Alright. And we're going to have them drop down a tile into this. So they're going to walk here, they're going to get hit by the ceiling electric field. The ceiling electric field has a nice property where it can be too high. So 1 tile and 2 tiles high, and it can still hit the husk down there. And we also have the nice property of wall darts having a tile of 3 range. So if they're right here, they're going to get hit by a wall dart that's on this wall. So we're going to place a wall dart here. They're then going to drop down, and we're going to have a wooden floor spike. We're going to have 2 dynamos, so Zapamaxes. And then we can also have a wall dart on this wall. And I like to have the wall darts because they are such high damaging traps and really do nuke down smashers. And smashers are the enemy. Smashers are the big deal on what you have to build your storm shields around, and same with propane husks. But propanes aren't that big of an issue just yet. We're then going to do the same thing. We're going to waterfall down and place a floor. We're going to have a wall. We're going to have our same exact combo right here like we had earlier. So we're going to have this wall dart, ceiling electric field. We're going to have our wooden floor spike. We're going to have a Zapamax, Zapamax, and Zapamax. So anything that gets to this far is just going to absolutely get nuked by those Zapamaxes. Alright, so we have this tunnel right here, right? But what about the husks that spawn and want to go this way? So we're going to have a pretty, I'm not going to say mirrored, because it's not exactly mirrored tunnel, but it's going to be very similar. So we're going to start by placing a wall here, floor, ceiling. On the ceiling, we're going to place a gas trap, and if you guys have trouble placing this, see how it's really awkward to place? Go over to this corner and you're able to place it if you're not looking through the storm shield. So we can place our ceiling gas trap there, and we're going to upgrade that all to tier 2. We're then going to place our dynamos, so 1 dynamo, 2 dynamo, and the wooden floor spike. Okay. We're going to waterfall down 1, which makes it easy because we have this platform. We're going to place a floor, a wall, a wall. We're going to do a similar thing where we're going to go out. We're going to place a ceiling electric field. We're going to place a wall, and we're going to place our wall darts. We're then going to have a dynamo, or a Zapamax if you have it, and a wall dart. Remember, Zapamaxes and wall darts are the same exact thing. The Zapamax is just a paid reskin of a wall dynamo that you got with the Machinist Mina, I think that was their name, pack. Which actually, if you have her, I highly suggest using her for your storm shields, as it increases your trap durability, and that's a really big thing for making sure that your traps last a really long time. But we're going to place this ceiling, we're going to place this wall, or this wall dart. We're going to upgrade those, we're going to waterfall down 1. So place a wall under it, and then place a floor. We're going to have a wall. We're going to have a wall dart. We're going to have a Zapamax. All right. And that's going to be our tunnel right there. All right. Now we just have to focus on the block off on the left. So we're going to go all the way back up. We're going to come up to here. We're then going to place a wall here, a cone facing the southeast, and a wall. We're not going to place that wall just yet because it's going to be a pain in the butt. Remember, if you can't upgrade these, you have to pull out your builds and you're going to get the upgrade option. So place. We're going to place this wall here, and then we're going to upgrade it. You guys hear that? I just ripped a nasty fart. Then we're going to hit upgrade. Okay. We're then going to come right here. So husks might be able to walk down this ramp right here and walk over here. So we want to block that off. So we're going to place a wall, cone facing the southeast, wall, and wall. We're going to upgrade those to tier 2. So tier 2, tier 2, tier 2. Tier 3 if you got it. Okay. So now that we have that, let's see. We're going to come down to right here. We're then going to place a wall, cone facing the northeast, cone facing the southeast, walls on every side except for the natural terrain side. So right here. And this is going to be ugly when you spawn in, right? The spawn in point is right here. So when you spawn in, you're going to see this, but it doesn't matter because you will have the mobility to get to your storm shield. Okay. And then we're going to come all the way down here, and we're going to place a wall, a cone facing the southeast. And we don't necessarily have to place this wall, but I suggest just doing it. Wall and wall. All right. And wall. Now, we're going to look at the spawns for the east side. So this is a really icky area, per se, because all the spawns are all the way up there and all the way back here, and we have very limited build space. So here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to start and we're going to make 2 tunnels. So the first tunnel is going to be a simple tunnel that we've genuinely done a million times, but we're going to go over it again. So we're going to place a wall here. All right, we have this wall right here. We're going to have a ceiling tile. We're going to have a wall here, ceiling tile, wall, wall, wall. All right? And we're going to have a wall right here. So this is just going to be Zapamax. This is going to be our wooden floor spikes. We're going to have a wooden floor spike. We're going to have our gas trap on the first tile. Ceiling electric field on the next tile. And make sure all this is tier 2. Tier 3 if you have it. This is going to be a wall launcher here. We're going to have a wall dart here, so that the husks, if they walk past here, are going to get hit by the wall dart. We're going to have a wall launcher here. And I do suggest getting rid of this tree, as it could potentially block our wall launcher going off. We're going to have a ceiling above and a floor. We're going to have a floor freeze trap. we're going to have a wall dart, and we're going to have a gas trap. Now, we're also, since we don't have the edited floors like we do on the west side, we're going to add our little edited walls in here. So edited wall here and here. Now, the reason we go with these edited low walls like this instead of like this is because wall darts can shoot over the lower ones. They can't shoot over this. So this would block their shots. So that's why we go with these edited low ones like this. The other ones have more health, but that doesn't really matter because it serves as the same block off. Okay? So that's our right side tunnel. So any husk that's over here will want to go through this. And that's pretty good. So what we're going to do next is we're going to come over here where we started our tunnel. We're going to go to the north one tile, and we're going to place a wall, and a cone facing the northeast, just so they don't break through this. So we're going to upgrade all that to tier 2. Okay? We're then going to go one tile over, and we're going to have a wall, a cone facing the southeast, a wall, and a wall. Now, we're going to also go with our trap tunnel, or our timeout room style that we've been focusing on this video. So we have our timeout room over here. We're gonna redo that, okay? We're gonna create our own terrain, and we're gonna have that style of tunnel. So they're gonna drop down, and they're gonna want to drop down from up there. They're gonna drop down here, okay? And they're also going to drop down. I think we're gonna go one over with this as well. I'm just trying to look at my old screenshots because I do a terrible job at screenshotting things. But we're also going to have a wall here, or floor here. Okay. And we're going to also have them drop down right here. So this is where they're going to drop down. We're going to surround it all in walls, except for on this southwest side. This is where we're going to keep our wall open. And they're going to drop down into this, right? And we're going to have some traps killing them. So we're going to have first have a wall dart, and a wall dart. What's this going to do? Any husk that lands over here is going to get hit by that wall dart and this wall dart. Any husk that's walking off this ledge can potentially still get hit by this wall dart. We're then going to have our Zapamax here and here. Okay? Now, we're then going to add floor freeze traps here. Normally you can add the wooden floor spikes here, but I want them to drop into here and just absolutely get nuked. We're then going to drop down here. We're going to place a floor, a wall, and a wall. We're going to add a Zapamax. Alright. And we're going to add a wall dart. This is also going to be a wooden floor spike right here to slow them down. We're then going to make a timeout room like we have previously. We're going to have a wall here. So we have our wall. We're going to have our wall launcher, place it down. Okay. We're going to have a gas trap above this. And we're going to have our typical timeout room. So our typical timeout room, well, first off, we're going to have our wooden floor spikes here. But a typical timeout room is basically going to be the ceiling electric field in here, or a ceiling ceiling, what is it called? Gosh, why does it slip my name? A ceiling zapper in here. Or a ceiling electric field. We're going to have our wall darts shooting across. We're going to have our dynamos on the sides, or broadsides if you have them. And we're going to have our damaging traps such as retractable floor spikes or floor freeze traps. And that's going to be a typical timeout room. And that's going to add a lot of damage in this square, and anything that's really there is just going to die. We're also going to come right up here, right? So if you notice, the husks can drop down right into here. And if we put ceiling traps here, they're just going to walk on top of it and escape our trap tunnel. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a wall here. This is going to have a wall dart to shoot across into here. And we're going to have a ceiling trap right here. Notice how they can't fall on to this ceiling trap, and this is going to have a ceiling electric field. So upgrade. All right. So as they walk through here, they're going to get hit by the wall dart, the ceiling electric field, drop into the dynamos, and then they'll have a timeout room to finish them off. Now for smashers, if you want to build a good timeout room, the best way to do it is smashers don't get launched by wall launchers per se. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an edited low wall like this. in this at the end of this timeout room. Now, why are we doing that? Because smashers don't get launched. What happens is they get stunned by a wall launcher. So if they get stunned, they're going to take 2 steps. They're going to go 1, 2, and they're going to take 2 steps over, and they're going to get hit by all these traps. So this is what we call a stagger timeout room, or a stagger box. So these little edited wall walls are really good for getting smashers on this right side of the tunnel so that they do get staggered into this timeout room. All right. And I believe that should be it for the block off, right? Part of this block off for our north spawn also works for our southeast side. So the other thing that I do want to mention is lobbers can walk from up there all the way down and go right here, right? Because lobbers want to throw out the objective. So what we're going to do is just add a wall dart here. Simple enough. Anything that walks to right here, like the lobbers, are going to get deaded. And any husks that actually would walk right here would have to walk down here and through a couple walls, so they don't actually do that. So we don't really need to block off this area all too much. But yeah, that's going to be the build for it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit long of a video, but it should really help you out with your Plankerton SSD 1, and these builds will help you carry on into SSD 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Also, I think I forgot these wooden floor spikes. Curse me. So we're going to put the wooden floor spikes here on our south build. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like the content, leave a like. If you guys want to continue seeing more content, hit subscribe. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Peace. Alright, so one extra wall dynamo that we need to place is right here on our west side tunnel. The husks like to come over here for some odd reason, so we're just going to place a wall dynamo here. Usually there's no rhyme or reason to sometimes when husks like to beat on things, so we're just going to place a Zapamax there. It's only a few husks, so you guys will get away with just the Zapamax, and it should just nuke them down real quick.